Hey everybody, Mr. Justin here with the Hernando County Public Library System, and thank you so much for joining us for our next science experiment video. This one's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really easy to follow along too. All we're going to need is a glass of water, so a clear glass filled with water, about 3/4, maybe a little bit more. You don't need to fill out all the way. We also have some salt. I have an egg. This is just a raw egg straight from the fridge, and a spoon. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking once again about floating and sinking and buoyancy, and talking about how we can get something to float that may not be able to float. So let's start with our egg, and we're going to put it right here in this glass of water. Now when we put it in the glass of water, do you think the egg is going to sink, or do you think it will float? So do we have our guesses? Let's find out. I'm going to put it right in here. And our egg sunk to the bottom. Now earlier this year we were talking about what makes something sink and what makes something float. And it's all about the density. And so in this case, the density of the egg is greater than the density of the water. And since the egg has a higher density, it went ahead and just sunk to the bottom of the glass. And there it is right there, sunk to the bottom of the glass. But I want to see if maybe I can get this egg to actually start floating. And so what we're going to do is we are going to add a little bit of salt, just a little bit at a time. And we're going to see if we can get this egg to float. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little spoonful in there. And we're going to mix it up, let it dissolve, and let's see. Let's look at our egg. And our egg is still at the bottom of the cup. So let's go ahead and do this again. Mix it up. So this is going to be 2 spoonfuls of salt. Let's look at our egg. Oh, not yet. Let's add some more. Let's do 3. There we go. It's getting a little harder to see because it's getting cloudy with the salt. Let's do 4. Oh, looks like it starts to want to, but not yet. Let's do 5. You see the egg is starting to just a little bit. Again, it's getting a little cloudy, so we can't really see it very well. But if you do this on your own, you'll be able to see it perfectly. And this, I think, is number 6. And we can see that the egg is almost a little off the ground, off the floor of the glass. Let's add a little more. And this is very hard to see. Even I can't see it anymore. But we can see that the egg is still pretty much close to the bottom. Let's try this some more. Oh, you can see it's getting a little bit more buoyant, which means the ability to float. Try a few more. Let's just mix it in. And there we go. It's floating in the middle of the cup. I want to see if I can get it towards the top. So we're just going to keep pouring this in until we get this in here. And look at that. We were able to get our egg to float up in the water. So what we were able to do is we were able to change actually the density of the water by adding salt. Salt water actually is more dense than fresh water. And so what we were able to do is we were able to make the salt water more dense than the egg. And because the egg was now less dense than the salt water, which we added by adding more and more salt to it, it created the low buoyancy effect, which was the ability to float. And so at the beginning of the experiment, we had fresh water. The egg sunk down to the bottom because the egg was more dense than the fresh water. But when we added salt, the salt water became more dense than the egg. And as we went on, the egg went up and started to float and became buoyant. And so that is buoyancy, the ability for an object to float in a liquid. And so you can try this for yourself, see how much salt it takes in order for you to get the egg to float. It took a little while, but eventually we did get the egg to float. And I hope you all have fun with this experiment at home. And thanks again so much for joining us, and we'll see you all later. Bye.